on A side.
All right, Zath, are you ready to go?
Yeah, if they're about to drop, that's fine. I can roll tape and get back to the cats.
All right, let's do that. Let's go ahead and roll this tape, guys. We will see you on Crash Zone Alpha.
See you.
The narrows of the English Channel have borne witness to some of the most famous naval battles in history. Now the storied cliffs of Dover provide the inspiration and backdrop for a naval clash of epic proportions. This is Crash Zone Alpha. Crash Zone Alpha is a 42 by 42 kilometer domination-style map with 3 cap points running in a line from southwest to northeast. The A cap is in the bottom left, B is in the center, and C is in the top right. In the center and southwest, both A and B caps provide a little cover for radar cruisers looking to support friendly destroyers as they vie for control of each cap. The islands that hug the borders of these 2 capture zones are tall enough to block most shells and close enough that their radar envelopes will cover their respective capture areas. To the northeast, Capture Area C is a much riskier play for cruisers. The islands here are smaller and further back from the capture zone, providing better access for destroyers. Battleships seeking better firing angles on enemies further south are likely to find what they're looking for, but pushing too far, too quickly, can be a very risky play. 18 ships, 2 teams, 1 victor. It's time to play Crash Zone Alpha.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Game 2 of this match between SCCC and PEED2 as we start the game on Crash Zone Alpha. SCCC coming with Ohio and Thunderer, double Worcester. A little interesting, we were talking about the viability of Worcester on this map while we were sitting in the training room. Obviously, we're going to get a chance to find out. Hindenburg, they did bring a Moskva 112-kilometer radar that's deploying, looks like he's deploying well back towards like the 1 line over here. Rounding things out with Summers, Shimakaze, and a Småland of their own.
Yep. And Frice is running 12-kilometer torpedoes on that Shimakaze.
Not surprising on this map size.
Yep. Meanwhile, we see on PEED2 side, we have Homicide back in the Kremlin again. Jiba's back in the Yamato again, so they're happy with those 2 battleships despite how that game turned out. Double Venezia, which we had talked about earlier, and they are splitting, interestingly enough, so they're going to opposite ends. You've got 2 Nevskys also splitting, and Triple Destroyer, 1 Daring, and 2 Smålands.
Pete, definitely, they love that Småland, but I'm going to be genuinely curious because, I mean, SCCC did such a brilliant job with the Worcester DM Summers smoke chain, right, at sea on Northern Waters. Now they're setting up for the same thing here at sea on Crash Zone Alpha. I'm curious to see how they're going to work that off. Fuzzballs does pick up B very quickly here for SCCC. Yoshi's Daring is trying to work the bottom into the cap, but he's not into the cap circle just yet. When he does, he will not be in radar range of the Småland.
Nope.
Although Fuzz is reversing, looking for him. Or he was.
Yep, he hasn't fired off the radar yet. He's probably figuring Yoshi's in that 1 corner. So I think he's slowly but surely, cautiously working his way back. Nope, he's pulling forward now.
In the meantime, Frice does bag B in the Shimakaze as the PEED forces down there are kind of a little slow towards the cap. You see Testers Nevsky and Majuin's Venezia angled away from the cap. And Kaina's Småland now getting turned around to reverse stern into the cap as well.
Merc is coming up to some Scharnhorst torpedoes. They will.
Well,
Summers torpedoes. See, there you go.
Merc is also about to find himself in Worcester radar range, and he's really going to find that to be highly uncomfortable.
And that has just begun.
Yep, he's continuing to reverse as the Worcester spam begins. There's 2 Worcesters in that smoke. Yep. That's not any place you want to be as a destroyer. Nevsky counter radar going up, looking for the Worcesters. See who can they spot. They can see Faye. They can see Faye. They cannot see the trailing Worcester. That's BW Ray. They can see Ray, actually. Faye taking some solid damage in there, but has a pretty good angle to Bowser's AP. Here comes some
Here comes
Yamato
stuff from
shells.
Yamato.
Now this could be a big salvo. They need this to be a big salvo, and it is.
Oh, it is.
It is a big salvo. They just lost sight of him as it landed, but it clipped away half his remaining HP. Yep.
Oh, my
Feifei
goodness.
down to about 7,500 and burning as he tries to back out of there. The Wooster play worked for a time, but Feifei definitely got punished.
Yeah, I don't know who came out better on that trade. I really don't.
Honestly, I feel like PEED came out better on that trade because the small one, he lost, Merc lost a decent chunk of HP. He can heal some of that back. He's harder to spot. That Wooster
Face got a heal
much
too.
harder. Face got a heal, but my point is simply it's just, I don't know. Wooster's easier to spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wooster is not one of those cruisers that if you're spotted, you can push the button and counter spot in return. Not by default.
Well, regardless, Faye is now the back cruiser between the two of them. So
he is indeed, but now their audacity does give SCCC early control of all three caps with 5 minutes gone. PEED not really seeming to have a good response here for the moment. They put the daring back onto B. That's Yoshi. They're trying to get Hyena's Smallland back onto A, who's obviously taken some chunk damage as well from the Moskva radar. He's not quite into the cap yet. He is now just there. And they're going to own C for a bit because Merc is right at the moment playing well off the C cap.
yep. And that's fine. I feel like that's what the point of two Woosters and a Summers is. It's to show up and be like, you can stay here. You're just going to pay for it dearly.
Indeed. Fuzzballs and Yoshi continue to play cat and mouse across the B cap. Fuzz moving up, trying to catch Yoshi in radar range. Yoshi is in radar range, but I'm assuming Fuzz's radar is on cooldown at the moment.
Apparently, we missed Homicide losing a third of his health.
Well, he did lose some damage. He's obviously taken some damage from somebody. They're going to push Hyena back off the A cap once again.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no.
I feel like Hyena's...
Is Tester gonna... No, okay. He'll probably dodge these torps.
I feel like Hyena now that he knows where the Moskva is, he's chosen the wrong position, right?
Oh, absolutely.
If he were to take his Smallland over and work the extreme eastern edge of the cap, say over in about H3, the Moskva could radar him, but the Moskva would have to move way up to have a shot, right? And that would expose him to counterfire. And at the moment, he doesn't really have to do that back here.
Homicide is now continuing to be focused by Hindenburg. Go.
Hyena now is back onto the cap. It looks like he's kind of taking some of that advice. He's going to work up the 3 line as they radar to push Freiss back as well. 7 minutes gone. SCCC with nearly a 300-point lead on their early board control. PEED not really seeming to have a good sense of how to work their triple destroyer comp back into a position to contest these caps.
Yep. Hyena coming under radar now. He's going to be forced out, taking some hits. Now, I was about to comment, and now it's changed, but look at those HP pools. They're almost dead even. At least they were a second ago.
They are indeed. Now, again, Hyena pushed back off the cap. I'm not sure why.
Radar.
Everett
Hyena
popped
was
his
radar
radar
by
again.
Moskva.
Goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and here comes Merc. Merc now being radared up at C, apparently. Nope, they've lost sight of him once again.
That's all right. You can see that B-Ray is using one of those short islands to just fire over with those great arcs. And it looks like Bowser is just going to get farmed for a little bit for free. Nothing wrong with there.
Wooster position is very strong if you've got something to shoot at. Merc now reversing back onto the cap. Got to make sure he doesn't take a torpedo. Yep, he's good. Found a nice gap.
Convenient gap.
Yep, that's very common in torpedo world.
Yep.
Again, as we near the 9-minute mark of the match, SCCC almost a 400-point lead. PEED has been completely unable to break onto these cap circles. But it just makes you wonder how long the radar can last, right? How long can they make it hold up? Because at the moment, PEED is trading pretty well here in terms of health. In fact, they have a small health advantage.
Price just got detected.
Price just got lit.
From Homicide.
Yep, took a salvo from Homicide. PEED now is PEED now is ticking up all 3 caps at the moment. Looks like they will bag A. Fuzzballs looks like he's going to get back onto B to prevent that from happening. But Merc is going to grab C. So it takes nearly... Now, go ahead.
In this game, when it comes to competitive, to take over board position, typically you have to give up and trade hit points to do so. So I know you had commented earlier about how they were trading well. The problem is that PEED is in a position where they're going to have to push.
Well...
And I feel like that could... result in some casualties for them.
Homicide is in real trouble here on 25,000 HP. He's got himself a little bit of cover, but Frice's Shima has a great line in there with torpedoes. That won't last forever. They've slowed the bleeding, but they have not ended it. Let's just put it that way. Halfway mark of the match. SCCC working a 300-point lead here. Both teams trading very evenly, but it just feels... feels like PEED has been on the back foot all game. Now they're pushing Hyena's Smallland up into the cap circle. Now that Frice just got detected, he's smoked. Here comes some Venezia shells for Frice. Takes a little bit of damage. Mosfa radar going up. That must mean they have Hyena spotted. They do.
Yep, Homicide's going to take 1 torpedo.
But does Hyena cannot spot Frice in return yet? Hyena must have his radar must be on cooldown. There it goes.
Nope, there it goes.
They just put up the radar. They'll be able to spot Frice now. It's a question of this Thunderer salvo could be very big here. It's not as big as they needed it to be. They do get Frice.
First blood. Venezia.
Yep, first blood going to PEED here as we talked about the Venezias actually doing some good work against the destroyers. There it was.
Yep. Meanwhile, look at Fuzzballs and Merc over at B. Quite the dance going on between these two Smalllands.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, that Merc has retreated all the way to the top end of B. That's interesting. Well, and they've pushed Scharnhorst Summers back into C. That evens things up at a cap apiece. PEED's able to close the gap now. Less than 200 points between the two teams. A gap that was nearly 400. They've cut it in half, but for the moment, this is still SCCC's game to lose.
Now the big thing here though is with Feifei going or Frice going out, Homicide is now safe.
Yes. He looks like he took some more damage. He might have taken 1 of those torpedoes, but he obviously
he took 1 torpedo.
Yoshi may take 1 here in the B cap. Oh, he just dodges it. In fact, Yoshi's actually going to cap B. No, he's not. Fuzz is just denying the cap right on the edge. But now, they're pushing.
Admiral Tester in the Nevsky is on the border, hoping that Everett can't kill him. We shall see.
Yoshi does bag B while he pushes Fuzzballs off. Tester is very low down here on the very bottom end of the map. Less than 4K.
I'm pretty sure he disappeared.
Oh, but Merc opened up with both Woosters having a shot on him. They can't see him anymore. They're continuing to fish. He needs to run south. Basically, at this point, PEED has completely ceded the C cap. They've decided they're going to make their stand at B.
Oh, no. Merc is going to be run onto a torpedo. Bam,
oh,
there he goes.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
His hull gets split in half.
Well, and Jeebus is about to come around the corner into some torpedoes if he's not careful.
Yeah, he's slowing up. He'll be fine.
He's good.
Yeah,
for the moment, he's okay.
I think those torpedoes were aimed at
Scharnhorst narrowly dodged a Venezia torpedo.
Wait. Those torpedoes might actually come in. Nah, Yoshi's fine.
No. He's good. Both teams on 1 kill. But PEED with a cap advantage, closing the gap. Technically on track to win unless SCCC makes a play. And Fuzzballs is now low enough, he cannot afford to get spotted again. Well, until he gets a heal off anyway. Jeebus reversing. He'll find a nice Yamato-sized gap. Look at that, right across the bow. His engine
close.
his engine is actually out. It's curious.
Mm-hmm.
They do light him on fire. Fuzzball's now popping a heel. Venezia popped off a salvo at Scharnhorst. That's invisible hand, but it didn't get anything out of it. SCCC now working a health advantage. PEED had to trade some health to pick up this board position that they have.
Yep. But it's a good position. I mean, they've managed to push SCCC off of A. Everett is by himself. I mean, Boomdiata is over there in the thunder.
Well, and Everett's in a duel with Tester, and at the moment, it's too close to call. Tester's rate of fire might make a significant difference in this game. Thunder Shell's coming in as well. That's probably going to be the end of Tester. The question is, can he take Everett with him? Looks like he might be able to pull it off. 375 hit points for Tester. They do bag the Moskva. Are they going to trade? They do.
They do.
They do trade. Peeds has reformed around the center of the cap, but Jeebus is going out. He's getting farmed.
Hard.
He's backed up too far, and now the Worcester farming has begun. He's looking to get at least one salvo off before he goes. I'm not sure it's going to happen. Nope, he's got more torpedoes coming in. Oh, they run out right in front of his hull, but it's not enough.
All skill, no luck.
Hindenburg seals the deal as SCCC now up a ship. Peed's still on a cap advantage, but it's not enough. SCCC will win in 3 minutes. Even faster now as the Venezia drops to an Ohio salvo.
Yep, good shot by Peregrinus.
This has been a great game, man. I think, I'm not sure what it was that kept PEED2 off the cap so early, Zath, but they're paying the price for it now. Going down so far required them to make some significant plays, and Homicide's been sitting here all game like he disconnected or something.
Yep.
I don't know. He's been in this position and he's just sat here forever.
Yep.
I kept expecting to move, do something.
I kind of feel like the problem was that initial contact with SCCC up at CCAP. That was enough to convince them to just kind of stay farther back than they would probably have wanted to or planned to at sea.
Perhaps.
And I kind of feel like that was their plan to push on that side, whereas A was more of a holding action area. At least that's how it kind of looked like originally. And we all know what happens when you come in with the plan. Of course, it doesn't survive that first contact with the enemy, right? Like, everybody goes, oh, crap. And I think this is one of those situations where they had to play an audible, and it just didn't work. Look at Peregrinus here. He's about to get conga lined.
He is, and Homicide has just woken up and is moving again. The conga line torps are going to do brilliant work to Peregrinus' Ohio. He might actually take enough of them, they go out. He goes out. Nope. He's going to... Just barely, but it shaves off a good 50,000 HP or so. And Homicide is back in the game.
Yep.
But with only 30 seconds on the timer...
Peregrinus is going to have to go into BCAP here.
No, they need to kill Zath. Look at the time. SCCC has 986 points. They don't have to do anything. Peeds has to do something. Peeds has to bag a kill, and they need one now, and there's nobody. That torpedo salvo on Peregrinus was their best hope, and it's gone. That opportunity is gone. SCCC is going to win.
That means it's GG, and we are done with this particular round.
We are indeed. SCCC with a 2-0 win here over PEED2. I guess Homicide disconnected, Zath. That's all I can think of.
That's all I can think of too. Yeah,
he got into cover and managed to live, but I guess he DC'd for a while.
Ouch.
If that's true, then that's a rough loss for those guys because they played well enough to make it back into the game. They just couldn't get over the hump.